So this video, this is a Zizek joke, right? He's got some good ones, and they often are great ways to convey things which are very important to learn. Great social stories. So there's these three Jewish guys at the wall of Jerusalem. So this is the last part of the temple which is still standing today. And one's like they're priest, the other's a rich guy, the other's an immigrant. And the first one says, "My Lord, I humble myself to you. I am nothing but a humble servant. To you I am nothing, and I am humbled by the wall of Jerusalem." Right? And the other man, he says, "My Lord, I am nobody. I am nothing. I am humbled by you, your greatness, and the wall of Jerusalem." And then the final guy says it, the refugee, the immigrant, he says, "My Lord, I am humbled before you. I am nothing. I am nobody. I'm humbled by the wall of Jerusalem." And then the other two Jewish guys are like, "Who the fuck is this guy saying he's nobody? Like, what's he humbled about? What's he humbled about? Right? Well, I don't get it, okay? He's not one of us. Who the fuck is he? Right? And that's the concept I'm going to talk about again today. All right? Because there's this really shitty cultural aspect to army. All right? Remember, I fucking hate the army. Particularly that culture, that people group. You're allowed to have issues with cultures, by the way, right? Not everything in a culture is a good thing. There's some cultures which are terrible, and when they're terrible, we reorganize them. There's an entire division of human resource management, entire school of it, which is devoted to studying how to do that, and it's an important part of industrial psychology, right? Culture is important. It's something you want to adjust so you have decent outcomes and you don't fuck people over. Now, I have had all these problems with Michael Armstrong, okay? All these problems with this guy. And he's got a fucking restraining order on him. He's a bloke who's got a background in cyber warfare. He's this veteran who plays up his disability to get public sympathy and to sell his art. And I'm a veteran. I am traumatized by my experience in the Navy, but more than that, my service in the National Disability Insurance Scheme. I have been through hell and back. By trade, I'm a behavior therapist, and I'm responsible for people who are dangerous to themselves or other people. And also advocacy. So I interpret the behaviors of, say, a person who's autistic and advocate for them to make sure that their rights and dignity is protected. Now, while doing this, I got traumatized, and while fucking working, and this guy, this cunt, he was masquerading as providing a veterans health service, while really he was just using it as an incubator so he could get public attention, so he could sell his art and become more relevant. At one point in time, I run a process art project called Taco, which was I used as a vehicle for me to advocate against crimes in the National Disability Insurance Scheme, which I'd witnessed. And this was a process art project, so the idea is that people would make a piece of art or engage in something as sort of like a meme chain, okay? And remembering I'm a social scientist, so I understand this stuff. I created what's called a symbolic order, right? Remembering that I have all the training and skills to do this. I'm not, strictly speaking, an artist in the conventional sense. I'm a social scientist, and was able to coordinate this big intellectual movement. And this is because I've been successful. I've had all of these mediocre people trying to latch onto me, and they'll be like, "Matt," because they're often these entitled people, these really entitled people. And army is so fucking entitled, man. They're like, what they'll do is that they'll have this thing where, and similar to those three Jewish guys, you'll have the people who are in charge of army, and they will always preach about virtues, about, we're all in this together, it's teamwork, it's never ever one just person's thing or or work, right? It's a shared effort, right? But what that really means is that people who do fuck all don't know what, provide very mediocre inputs, or kind of latch onto it. They've in their mind they've got an equal part of the credit, and they fucking don't. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's the other reason why the army can't innovate or do anything useful, because it doesn't. That attitude does not reward innovation. Like, you people who take risks need to be able to have rewards for their risks, and I've had to take a lot of risks, right? So I run this fucking thing. And the thing is that because a lot of the connections I got at the start of it were people who I knew through Michael, but then they realized they wanted to work with me and not him, and then he became salty about it. And now that I'm immensely successful, he's looking at it and he's like, oh, that's my success. Oh, I did that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Right? You're tacking on to me. And you had every opportunity to come along, but he wanted to be in control and to dominate me. The guy's a bit of a fascist prick, in all things considered. Anyway, so this fucker, he is still trying to put inputs on Facebook. He is still harassing me. We have a fucking court order, and he will still be harassing me. Like, I've said that I'm probably going to end everything in a few weeks or so, and he's still harassing me. Like, he is a deranged individual. And it needs to stop, right? The most important thing he did at one point in time was make some porn, right? And that was illegal, if I'm honest. What there was is that the Signals Directorate, they were trying to groom me for doing work for them, or work in army or defense or something as part of a mentorship program. And from that, I got some porn which I was able to use in my art project. At the same time, a whole heap of horrific things happened to me, and they happened to me, such as me being put under mass surveillance because of a phony child safety allegation, and me having to be a whistleblower and doing all these very difficult things, these heroic things around the NDIS. And again, I will have these people, these very mediocre people who have put in a proportionately far less, but because they have this bullshit thing that they learnt from army, that it's all a team effort, and we are all, this is all the credit, it's for all of us. It's like, no, that's a way that people who are mediocre social loafers like these fuckers can grab onto something and feel a sense of entitlement. And because army, and we have this thing for veterans in society, like, we need to respect them and shit like that. Bro, I have faced more fucking hectic situations, more violent situations in the private sector, working in the NDIS, than these people ever have. I have more combat experience than all of the people that I know through Michael's network, right? These guys are fuckwits. These guys are posers. And they're still latching on, right? It's the end of the project soon, and they're still trying to latch on. Unbelievable. All right, that's the rant for today. Remember the 3 Jewish guys. Remember that Michael is one of those. Because of the culture of army, what they'll do is that if you're a commander, you want no one to take credit, and no one to have their own agendas, because that means they're more easy to control. And I decided I didn't want to be controlled anymore, and I did something incredible, because I'm actually trained as a social scientist. At the time of shooting this, I was a registered healthcare professional, These are things Michael never has been, and now that I've orchestrated and designed this project, which he would have no idea how to do, I've now seen the fruits of it. Never got any reimbursement from it because I was being enslaved multiple times. But he's a fascist cunt. I've had enough of it. Done.